Vaccine is good news. You know, we've been asking and hoping for vaccine for some time. I also think it's great we're getting a sample of the vaccine from Pfizer so that we can test our systems. The military was stood up recently and will be able to test delivery. Obviously, it's a vaccine with very cold storage. So it's good news, and Canadians need good news in a pandemic close to Christmas, and we've been asking for a plan, we've been asking for a vaccine, so I'm happy when we get some. While I was in my meeting, I got the news on the Health Canada approval. We're going to be reviewing that, but the early indications we saw was the efficacy rate was very high, mid-90s, very good. The safety rate is also very high and in line with normal influenza vaccines. So I think this is why we need to plan. Canadians have questions. Supporters of all political parties have questions. The more information we have in the plan, the more Canadians will feel comfortable with what's coming in the new year when most of the vaccines arrive. The provinces are rolling out plans on how it will be worked within the school setting, within the work setting. That is a provincial responsibility. We've been pushing for the federal government to make sure we have the freezers, to have the capacity, to have the distribution, particularly for Indigenous communities, an area of the federal responsibility. Each province will determine how the vaccines will be prioritized and what restrictions there may or may not be. The sample we're getting in the next few weeks, let's make sure we test deployment of that and make sure that the most vulnerable, some of the frontline people that will likely be exposed the most, they should likely be in it. But this is where I trust our scientific experts, you know, Dr. Tam and provincial officers of health will have an approach. There's a very finite supply, but let's make sure we have the refrigeration and things needed across the country. I will be getting the vaccine. I think it's important for public officials to talk about how important these are. Tools like rapid tests and vaccines will let us turn the corner in the pandemic and help us keep the economy moving. So if people have questions, that's because there's been a vacuum of information. I hope Mr. Trudeau stops being so secretive about this. Canadians just want to know, how many will my province be getting in January, February? When will my family have an opportunity? These are reasonable questions, and let's also show them it's safe and effective.